Welcome to the podcast named While You Wait for Your Electric Vehicle to Charge. We aim to entertain you and bring you the latest or the oldest information about electric vehicles out there. We're going to be talking about hydrogens versus electric cars. Why? Because we need to fight about this. Some say it's the future, some say will never happen. I mean, a bit like the electric cars. They've been around for years and years and years. Did you know, like, the electric car was kind of invented at the same time as the gas car? Yeah, I know. Is that factually accurate, Piper? No idea. Don't worry about it. We'll check that out later. That's why we have this podcast, where we discussed about all of these things. It airs at 12 p.m. Pacific time. If you don't know what Pacific time is, it's kind of like Vancouver time, so just Google it that way. And then we are live for an hour and a half. That's how long it takes you to charge your electric vehicle to full charge if you're not using one of these awesome V4 superchargers. Yeah. That being said, while you wait to charge your EV, you just tune into the podcast. I mean, we've got Electric Brian who's doing it. Chemist America Lifestyle is here. Thank you for tuning in. We also have Carl. Happy Hump Day. Yes, it is Wednesday at the time of this recording. Andrew T says good afternoon. So you see, for some people it's the afternoon, some people it's the morning. I mean, we've got an audience from all over the world, which makes this podcast even better. Make sure you're there in the live format. That way you can interact with us. And when I say us, who's the other person? I'm Piper and I'm with
Sai.
Yeah, so Sai acts as the researcher on the show. Comes up with the ideas, mix them all up, and then, well, of course, we want to learn more just like you. Meaning that we're not experts, we're not scientists or anything like that, but we do, have discussions about things like electric cars versus hydrogen cars, which makes it so that, well, of course, we prompt ChatGPT, we go on Wikipedia, we take all the knowledge that we can gather, and then, we make a podcast out of it. If you have knowledge too, make sure that you write it in a comment. We want to get as much information as possible so, that people can make more of an educated choice, either for their future life, for their children's life, or, for themselves. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're kind of thinking with your head, that's what we aim to do right here, right now. Carl says, I'm beginning to have doubt hydrogen is ever going to make it. Well, welcome to the club. We are gonna kind of sort of fight about this because, like every good discussion, we need some pros, some cons, and a little bit of debate. Being that, yes, like I was saying, back in the day, we had like these electric cars that were there, but the range was too small, and then the infrastructure was not there, and a whole bunch of things made it so that batteries were not powerful enough in that way. Is it the same thing with the hydrogen car? Will we have hydrogen cars later in life, or is it just that one thing that everybody keeps on saying, yeah, when hydrogen cars are gonna be there, I'll get one, I'll have one. Now, I'm not sure about this. I mean, if Carl is like, I think it's never gonna happen, maybe you're from those type of people who believe that this is never gonna happen, and that's okay. I mean, some people say Jesus is gonna come back, haven't seen him yet, so that could be like one of the interesting point of this podcast. Hydrogen versus electric cars fight. Do you own an hydrogen car? I mean, that's the first good question. Do you literally have ever been in a hydrogen car? Were you on the, what was that big balloon called, the Zeppelin? That one before it exploded. Like, were you on that? Because that was hydrogen. Helium. That was helium? Helium. Okay. That was helium, yeah! So that was helium. Have you ever been in a hydrogen car? I mean, I myself have never been in one. Sai, have you been in a hydrogen car?
I don't even know if it was a thing till today.
Okay. So maybe you have. Maybe you have no idea.
Maybe. Well, I didn't explode, so maybe not.
So maybe not. Max Power just tuned in. Hey, Max, thanks for being here. So that being said, there's a possibility you've been in a hydrogen car, but they are pretty rare still today in Canada and the United States of America in that sense. So it will be kind of fascinating to know. If you have been in one, you know somebody who owns one who has been in an hydrogen car, plane, whatever, rocket, I don't know. Make sure that they're there and they leave a comment. So share this video /podcast right now. There's a little arrow right underneath. You click the arrow and what happens? A little window is going to pop up and then it's going to ask you if you want to share it on Facebook, X, Reddit, some other weird sites. You do whatever you want with that, or you can simply copy paste the URL, send it via text message, to a friend, a family member, your emergency contact. I don't know. I don't care. As long as they know more about electric vehicles, the podcast While You Wait is there to entertain you while you wait to charge your stuff. And everybody has something to charge. I mean, something. Of course you have something to charge. You're watching this. What are you watching this on? Your phone? Your phone needs to charge. Are you watching this on your computer? Laptop? It needs to charge. Are you watching this with headphones in or AirPods or things like that? Those need to charge too. So while you wait for them to charge, put them in, charge the case, and while you wait for the case to be charged, you listen to us. Super easy. We have Chris Pankage who says, I think in USA they only tried the Toyota Mirai spelling and failed. It failed. It failed. It failed. It failed. Okay, so meaning that this hydrogen car that has the name Mirai. But is that how
I think
you
it's
would...
Mirai. Mirai. Mirai.
Mirai?
Mirai.
Okay. Well, you're going to say it from now on, and I'm not going to say it. So that's how it's going to go. And then it failed. Okay, how did it fail? How did it fail? Now, Carl is asking, does one exist? Do we actually have hydrogen cars? Yes, we do have hydrogen cars. They exist. They're out there, people. I mean, even if you want to believe, you have to believe. They're there. So we found like three hydrogen vehicles. I think there's one from Hyundai, one from Honda, and there's another one that is available.
Honda, Hyundai, and Toyota.
Oh, okay. Honda, Hyundai, and Toyota. So those have one hydrogen car each. So what are the names? Do you have the names, Sai, of these hydrogen vehicles?
The Toyota is a Mirai. And let's see.
Okay. We are searching for this just for you, people.
Is there a waiting list?
A waiting list to get those? I don't know.
There's the Honda is the 225 to 2025
Oh.
CRV fuel cell.
Okay, so it's fuel cells. Yeah, because there's a few types of ways you can do hydrogen. You can do like the fuel cell thing, or I think you can do this sort of like engine that would be like a gas engine, but it is hydrogen instead. So it's kind of complicated, the science behind it. But we'll go in the live comment section, and if you know things about how hydrogen cars work versus electric vehicles, make sure you drop it in. Okay, what else do we have?
Hyundai Nexo.
Nexo. Okay, so Nexo, Mirai, and then
Fuel cell.
fuel cell. Was it they just called it fuel cell?
CRV fuel cell.
Okay.
Yes.
CRV. Oh, the Honda CRV. Yeah, that's like a little. It's a little SUV
Yeah.
sort of. It's high on its wheels. Okay, well, great. We're talking about hydrogen versus electric cars. This is a debate, a discussion, or whatever you want it to be. Because while you wait, we entertain you. With information and music. Okay, so yes, T. Doyle says hi. Well, hello, T. Doyle. UM Tiger 311 Honda made an hydrogen car. Yes, and like we said, it's there. It's available. You can purchase one. Chris Pankage, local news reported over $200 to fill. I guess to fill a nitrogen car. Yeah, we will go over all of these things, like the cost, how it works in that sense. I mean, we saw a video and it was like 80 pounds. So that's in UK dollars for those of you who don't know. So that's kind of, close to $200. I mean, US, Canadian in that way. And Chris Pankage also adds, they also at sale provide a $15,000 hydrogen gas card per se. Yeah, because the thing is, you're gonna need to tank. Is that even a word in English? I don't know. I use it in French all the time. So you're gonna have to fill it up. You're gonna have to fill it up. Hydrogen cars, you can't really fill them up at home. It's not something you can do. So we'll watch a little video actually that we found. We're gonna go over many points like the infrastructure, the accessibility for hydrogen cars, the performance and the range of hydrogen cars, the environmental impact of hydrogen cars, and the considerations for you as a driver if you're leaning towards hydrogen versus EV. Yes, it's all going to be about EV and hydrogen because the channel is called Two Girls, One Electric Car. So So we usually bring you information about vehicles that are more in the electric range. But since it's new technologies all over the world, well, it made sense to kind of talk about it because a lot of not a lot, but some comments, did state that, I'm waiting for the hydrogen car, so I don't want the EV or the hybrid in that sense.
You should start a poll right now and leave it there for a long time.
Okay. So what would be the poll?
Electric car versus electric. Vote yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Let's start a poll. Put you some music while you wait. Okay, a poll. Which one will win? EV, hydrogen. Or what? Yeah. Start poll. Okay, the poll is on. Boom. What? It's a new poll. Yeah. What is different than? Really? I don't see it differently. No. Oh, that's cool. Okay, we have new poll, people. For those of you who are there in the video format, we have a new poll. This is a nice poll design. And then watching from my laptop with my big screen TV. So Carl is watching us from his laptop on his big screen TV. Yes, you can put us anywhere on your Tesla screen while you wait to charge your Tesla. You can also, plug an HDMI cable or just Bluetooth us, kind of, sort of, AirPlay us on your television. Doesn't really matter. Take us on your iPhone. You can also just listen to this. So play YouTube in the background and listen to us while you're in your car driving or even while you're brushing your teeth. That works too. Lol. Will Garcia, I'm not sure a Mirage, but fancy. Okay, so you think that...
Mirage is spelled like Mirage.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. So it's like a Mirage but fancy. RA says Edmonton Transit Service, ETS, is at the forefront of innovative transport. Wow, that's a nice way to say it. And is the first city in Canada to run both hydrogen fuel cell and battery electric buses. Okay, that's good to know. So Edmonton has actual hydrogen buses and electric buses. Ooh.
Interesting. Yeah. You just have to go to Edmonton for it. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, you need to compromise that. But we could go to Edmonton and test these buses, this public transport. I mean, Sai, you take public transport often. Do you think you would feel the difference?
I don't think so. The only difference I would feel that it wouldn't catch fire and explode.
Okay. Yeah, Sai
As
read
you
a
can
lot
see,
of
I have
things.
a trauma about it.
Yeah, Sai read a lot of things about hydrogen, and so far she's not convinced that it will not explode, as you might be able to tell. So not to worry. We haven't found many things about explosion, but hydrogen is very volatile, and its explosive capabilities are enormous. So we'll get back to that a bit later in this podcast. But thank you for tuning in. I'm Piper, and I'm with the researcher,
Sai.
and we are here to bring you EV entertainment on the podcast while you wait. Let's see this. I'm going back to the live comment section. If you want to get there, just be there, do something, write something, log in. We have here, like I said, it failed. So Chris Pankage says that it failed. Only sales in LA, Los Angeles, yeah. USA has around 50 stations nationwide, I believe. So he's talking about hydrogen stations, meaning those are like gas stations, but for hydrogen. Because yes, you need to get your hydrogen from somewhere, and usually your home does not have an hydrogen tap. It doesn't work like that. Walter Johnson just dropped in. Hydrogen versus electric cars. Fight. Your winner, electric car. Oh, so far Walter is saying that, yeah, electric car is totally winning compared to hydrogen. EV will always win. Okay, we want to know more. Tell us why, how, when. RA says, as for 2020, 5,648 hydrogen fuel cell buses are in use around the world, with 93.7% of them in China. Oh, it's good to know they're in China. See, you're safe, Sai.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're far from China right now.
We're like in Vancouver, which is really far from China. And if you... But is it?
Is anyone ever far from China?
Yeah, Chinese people are everywhere because they're like the most like diaspora. type of people. I mean, okay, but the Indians are the most population here right now, everywhere in the whole entire face of the earth for some reason. So that's happening too. Well, that being said, okay, so in China, more buses are hydrogen than here in Canada and the USA. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe accessibility. Maybe it's easier to produce over there for some reason. They don't care about the cost because it costs a lot of money to do that. Walter Johnson says you can watch while you wait on laptop at home or iPhone, not driving. Safety first. Yeah, mostly definitely. Douglas Dauntless says the Hindenburg. Yeah, that's the one, right? That's the one, the Hindenburg. Yeah, side, just like you like it. Hot dog fire. I mean, barbecue style. Like the Hindenburg, yes, that was hydrogen. I believe so. And that kind of, made a bad name for hydrogen because then people freaked out. But I saw this little clip that said that it wasn't really only the hydrogen in it. It was like the whole way that this sort of balloon was designed was highly flammable. So it was like the paint and other components. Yes, hydrogen is highly flammable, but again, if you literally like throw fire on oil, yes, it will flame, but if there's no oil there in the first place, it will not flame. If you throw fire on water, there's no way it's gonna catch fire. So that's kind of an interesting point to add and like a sort of dilemma in that sense. We have AKA Fumbler just dropped in. Hey AKA Fumbler, thank you for being there. Chris Pankage, fun fact, the hydrogen fuel cell was used to power the Apollo spacecraft in the 1960s. It's basically the same concept to create power. Yeah, so we've seen this Elon Musk kind of sort of documentary mashup thing, and he was saying that hydrogen would be great for rockets. Yeah, and they're using it for rockets, right? So, but maybe not so much for vehicles, which is interesting. And I know what you're gonna say, Piper. You're such an Elon fangirl. Well, he has a Canadian passport, and I'm Canadian. What do you want me to do? So that's the thing. Carl says magnesium frame. Yeah, magnesium. Isn't that the thing that you use to like light your blowtorch?
It's a metal that I use.
Yeah, exactly. So Carl says that the Hindenburg, the frame was actually made out of magnesium, which makes it so that, yeah, magnesium is the thing that you light up your blowtorch with. Like that's the thing that makes the sparks to make the fire, right? So you don't want to mix those two together in that sense. And again, we haven't had another incident like that, maybe because we learned from that mistake, right? So the technology is not new. No, it's not new exactly, because Apollo had some of that. But the thing is it just hasn't happened. A bit like the EV, like the electric vehicle, started at the same time as the gas vehicle, but then one of them, the gas vehicle, because it was, well, more energy. I mean, a gas vehicle, if you take it like that, for the same amount of gasoline, you will be able to produce more range, more power, plus it is way lighter to transport. So it just made more sense to go with the gas vehicle in that sense. Don't freak out, people. Nobody killed the electric car in that sense. Yes, but no. We'll watch a documentary later, Chris. Don't worry. Still got that on my list. But that's the thing. Sometimes it's just more convenient, things are more convenient. The humans are lazy and they choose the fastest path to where they want to get. So is it like that with hydrogen vehicles? Is it the same as electric vehicles? We'll get there later. Or is it really that thing that we're never going to get to because really nobody's ever going to need it? That is what this podcast is about. Hydrogen versus electric cars. Let's fight. So cool. Okay, bring a friend, bring a family member, bring an ex-wife. I mean, I don't care. I mean, it's all about fighting, so maybe they would be the best candidate. There's a little share arrow right down there. Click it, press it, make love to it. And then, well, share us everywhere on your Facebook, X, Reddit, Instagram, in your stories. Doesn't really matter. You can even grab a picture of this. Do whatever you want with us, but make sure that while you wait, you are here to listen in, because this should be very, very interesting. So far, the live comment section is going crazy. Like we're getting those comments. Oh, we got a new person, Intellectual Wino. Okay, he says there are tremendous losses in separating out the hydrogen and then compressing it for hydrogen fuel cells. Sure, it's a proven technology, but again, is that worth the amount that you're losing? Like this kind of like 3 to 4 times loss that you have from creating hydrogen. And again, there's only 2 ways you can create hydrogen, and we're going to talk about that in this podcast. So buckle up. We're getting there, and we are going there. Okay, so what are we talking about? Are we talking about eco-friendly? Yes, a little bit, because I mean, hydrogen and EV both have these super mega characteristic of not being gasoline cars. So that's definitely happening. Are we talking hybrid? Not really. Let's keep it like EV and hydrogen, okay? That's for the live comment section. I know you guys are good to stay on point, so we're gonna do that. And then I have to preciseness of things, that some people in our comment section were saying, yeah, I'm just gonna wait on hydrogen. But is that a bit like an excuse? Do you think, Sai, that it's a bit of an excuse? Like there's EVs right now, there's hybrid. If you're this one person that is like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait on hydrogen, well, why aren't you purchasing an EV right now, and then when hydrogen comes in,
exactly,
you can switch to hydrogen?
True. Plus, hydrogen is it's nice in theory. Again, it's not how sustainable is it on this planet. Like how realistic is it to make it? Because then yesterday we were talking about cost. Yeah. Does the cost doesn't matter anymore just because it's hydrogen? Do you have something specifically against electric cars only?
Yeah.
So cost is higher with hydrogen right now if you invest in one. So you're going to just wait till the cost goes down and then buy a hydrogen car? Like what's the logic?
How is that going to happen if nobody buys it? Because it's offer and demand. So if nobody buys it, the cost is never going to go down.
Yeah, because it's so hard to separate and make. The cost is always going to be high. So what is the point if you care about the environment? Buy an EV?
Exactly. And then later switch to a hydrogen vehicle. While you wait, you listen to this podcast, and while you wait to buy a hydrogen car, well, you listen in. Super easy. Listen in your car. Listen while you're in the bathtub. Some people still take baths. It's a thing. And well, you can also listen while you're waiting for a friend at the bus station. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm Piper, and I'm with
Sai.
And we are here on While You Wait. Hydrogen versus electric cars. Let's fight. Okay, I see Bob Lazar there. This is cool. So if you don't know Bob Lazar, he's like that guy that's been... Oh my God. He's just saying so many things about like... So many things. I mean, I'm going to let you Google him. Okay. Bob Lazar had a nitrogen Corvette in the early 80s. He failed at a hydrogen collection system he designed himself for his house. Okay, so he literally made his own thing. But that guy, wasn't he like from NASA or something like that? Like that guy worked like in the army or something. This guy's like a super mega scientist. Bob Lazar is ahead of his time. Okay, so let's Google Bob Lazar. I think he went on the podcast with like Joe Rogan, and he was saying that they actually discovered some vessels, which we will not talk about on here, and some special technologies. So
one thing that's the only thing that pops up when you
right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say those things. But
no, we're not gonna say those things.
No.
So Bob is that guy.
He's literally sea theorist.
Yeah, he is a sea theorist. He's that guy. He's that guy. So that's Bob for you. Hey, Bob, what's up? Lazar car can't be built. That's what Douglas Downless says. Because the storage used hydrogen and is highly regulated. Okay. Yeah, hydrazine. Hydrazine is some no-joke stuff. They use it in space program also. Highly corrosive, nasty stuff. Well, it's great to know that we have like some little bit of scientists in there. I mean, Sai, you did say that you liked science, right? Chemistry?
Chemistry, yes.
So that is exactly like chemistry, right?
Exactly like chemistry.
Okay. Next podcast that we do and we're talking about chemistry, we'll get you the lab coat. It's gonna be great on you.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna suit you. Chemist America Lifestyle. Well, his name is literally Chemist. For it to win over EV, it needs to lower the cost of hydrogen fuel, and I have more puns. I have no idea what that is. Okay, aka Fumbler. Yeah, that was my next question. Do we believe Bob Lazar? Yeah, I like that. No, we should not. I mean, maybe it doesn't discredit him as a scientist. I mean, he made some great things, and he did really work for all of these crazy programs and things like that. I mean, this guy did it. But then, he kind of went somewhere else with all that knowledge. On Mysterious Mind, we talked about it a little bit one time. And so that's what happened. So he's very for the UAP. Yeah, he saw some things. He saw some things. I certainly do not believe him. That's from Intellectual Wino. Well, I guess with a name like that, you can't believe him. Or you need to change your YouTube handle. Hydrazine is used for some reaction control thrusters. Thank to little proof when the ships dock, some of that is hydrazine. Okay. This is interesting. Well, I mean, okay, all the scientists that have done stuff for the world have often done crazy things, like test vaccines on themselves. You know, that type of thing. So, of course, we need to give it to Bob if he really made his, like, hydrogen vehicle for himself and he tested it on him, the hydrazine and all that. Well, it's a leap for science and for humanity. That doesn't mean we're gonna use it. I mean, some of these vaccines probably they didn't work because, well, those scientists died and then they didn't make any more. So that being said,
yeah, that would be a sign that it didn't work. They're dead.
Yeah, they're dead. So it's over. Let's just move on. So Bob did not die. No, he still is. I think he's still alive. So that's good for him. But that doesn't mean that all of these inventions are good inventions. Okay. So let's talk about this kind of infrastructure. How does it work? How does an EV that we already kind of know how it works? So we're going to spend a little bit more time on hydrogen. How would you do the hydrogen? Like you buy an hydrogen car. What do you do with it? How does it work? Let's get onto it. So super easy. An electric vehicle charges. It's like your smartphone, like your computer. Well, if you have a laptop, not like you get it, okay? So you need to plug it in. An EV, you just plug it in. You plug it in, it charges. Then the amount of time it takes to charge depends, of course, on how much juice you're giving it. Yeah. So if you go to superchargers, it charges faster. If you go into your home outlet, like the 110 volt, I mean, it's going to take like 3 days maybe to charge it. So it's kind of that simple. Then if you take an hydrogen vehicle, you literally need to go to an hydrogen station. So it's like a gas station, but it's a hydrogen station. So you need to refuel in that sense. I mean, we could call hydrogen fuel in that term because it's not electricity. You need to refuel your hydrogen vehicle. You need to go somewhere where they have like a hydrogen pump in that sense. And you need to plug it in, but it's more like plug it in a weird way. I have a video for you that I'm going to show you, and that's going to help you, understand the whole concept. And we're going to react to that, everybody of us, me, Sai, and you right there behind the screen and with your ears.
And it's true, you cannot have that in your garage.
No, you cannot have that in your garage. You cannot have hydrogen in your garage just like laying around. You need to actually have special permits for that. It's very volatile. You need special tanks to keep it in. It's very dangerous. You don't mess up with hydrogen. You don't have that there. I mean, even if you ever smoldered, what's the name? Weld. If you're a welder, like even all of these tanks that you go by, you need like little proof for them. You need to check the tanks. Like the closest thing you could have would be propane and propane accessories. But even that can be dangerous. So we have this system, but propane is not as volatile. It's not as crazy as hydrogen in all of these ways. Okay? So let's talk about that. Intellectual Wino says 110 volts and 3 days. Oh, wow. I wish. 93 kilowatt battery here, and I think it's a week or so. Yeah, my Tesla Model X has 330 kilometers that it can go. I can push it to 350 kilometers, like on the full battery. So if I put it to 80%, I can kind of charge it within 3 days on the 110 volt. But that's just me, and that's not like 600 kilometers. That's like half. Well, the 80% for me, but half for more people who have this like huge battery pack.
But
so
thanks
for tuning in. Yes, you do need to sleep, and you do need to do something while you wait. That's why this podcast is here to entertain you and bring you some electrifying news about many different types of subjects. So while you wait, make sure you tune in. Now, the thing is, for electric vehicles, we are starting to have a lot of infrastructure. I mean, not as much as gasoline or gas station, but a lot. Like there's some everywhere, okay? So you can literally have an EV if you live in a sort of, urban area. We're not talking like you live in the desert somewhere. But you will be fine to go on road trips and do things. If you live in South Canada and if you live a little bit everywhere in the United States, I mean, you should be okay to road trip and do whatever you usually do with a ICE vehicle that you would with a literal like EV. Same but different. But then, Sai, when we were looking at hydrogen, like refuel hydrogen, so hydrogens, we could call them hydrogen stations. Like there weren't that many, right?
No, there are not that many either. And Chris Pankish was right. They're mostly in California, in the US, and here in Canada, we have like 3 around BC, 3 or 4 maybe, in all of BC. None in Ontario, and then there's 1 in Quebec.
So that's not a lot. Yeah. So if you're looking to get to that like level where, oh yeah, I want a hydrogen car, and then you can't really store hydrogen in your home because that is very not recommended. Well, it's gonna be hard for you to have access to this fuel, this hydrogen. So how are you gonna get from one place to another? So right now, if you are from California, please make yourself known in the live comment section. Drop a comment right here, right now, because California has a lot more, and we're talking South California, a lot more hydrogen stations, making it easier and more possible for people to purchase a hydrogen vehicle in that sense. Then if not, maybe, just maybe, you buy a hydrogen vehicle as a secondary vehicle, because the accessibility to this infrastructure to literally fill up your vehicle is almost non-existent right now. I mean, of course it was like that before Tesla arrived. On the market with their superchargers. I mean, I had a Chevy Volt, and there was some sort of public-private EV chargers over Quebec, but not enough so that I could really get around. So maybe it's just like the inception, like the infancy, of hydrogen vehicles, or maybe it's just never gonna pick up because it's been there for a while, right? And Douglas Dauntless says propane vehicles were common in the 70s. Really? Yeah.
There's a lot of livraison truck you pay.
Oh, okay, livraison. So a lot of delivery trucks that were propane powered.
You know those like little cars that.
Oh, yeah. Those ones, the little Bobcats one, the forklifts. So the forklifts are still powered by propane, yeah, because they have the tanks behind them. That's very interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in the live comment section a little bit here because it's going crazy. People are like, they have stuff to say. Okay, the Navy built a seawater powered ship using a type of electrolysis. Okay, so we're talking about like water vehicles. Perfect. Let's get back to hydrogen, people. I know hydrogen is kind of water, but let's get back to real hydrogen. Okay. And then Chemist America Lifestyle says, this is too much for me, hydrogen talk. I just want to drive EV. Well, don't worry. We'll get back to the electric vehicles. But I mean, some people have stated in our comment sections on the podcast and elsewhere on our YouTube channel, 2 Girls, 1 Electric Car. That's the name of the YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you click that subscribe button. It is free. Yeah, costs you nothing. Super awesome. So that being said, well, we decided to talk about this. What would be the incentives of somebody getting a hydrogen car versus an EV? Or even maybe, will it be a car of the future? Are all EV owners going to switch to hydrogen? Or actually, are all ICE vehicles going to switch to hydrogen but not to EV? Because it's like, you know, when your uncle owned the Cadillac, you didn't want a Cadillac when you got older because it did not rebrand well enough in that way. I mean, this could definitely happen. I have no idea. And then, well, Javier says that he would prefer hydrogen. I can't wait for 3 days for my car to charge. Well,
how many miles you do per day?
Yeah, exactly. So, Javier, how many miles do you do per day? Like because realistically, that's what you need to look out for. How much do you need? How many range do you need? Because there's a lot of chances that you won't need to fill up your electric vehicle to full. Like never, unless you're road tripping. And then when you're road tripping, there's the superchargers, so you don't need to wait 3 days for that. And then we have Intellectual Wino who says, I was in LA and hydrogen stations were everywhere. Then I moved to Texas. Nothing available. Oh, interesting. So there was a lot in LA. I think that's what everybody's saying. So South California, in that sense, we're not necessarily saying San Diego, but I did see a lot of little dots in that area. And we have also impossible to operate a hydrogen car realistically here in Texas, meaning that if you are in Texas, it's not possible. Okay, well, good to know. See, it's not very much possible here in Vancouver either, because so far 3 hydrogen stations, and some of them are like so, not so much. Douglas Downlist says electrolysis equal hydrogen. Yeah, electrolysis means like to make hydrogen. Yeah. Okay, because there's 2 ways to make hydrogen, right? So either you take like a hydrocarbon, that thing, or you take just water and you do electrolysis and then it makes hydrogen. Anyway, you need to separate some molecules to make hydrogen, because hydrogen is not like there in the air. It's not there. You need to fabricate it. You need to make it. Which is going to lead us to one of our other points we're going to talk about. So make sure that you stay right there. Buckle up. Another one to lose to Texas. Some people are going to Texas, so this is funny. Okay. We have a little bit of a steak debate in the live comment section. They will have no taxpayers soon. Well, because California has really steep taxes, for those of you who don't know, like almost 50% of your personal income. Yeah, so Delaware is always there for you. Or Las Vegas. Miles per day, about 60 miles, so 100 kilometers per day. That's what Intellectual Wino says. So 100 kilometers, like for me, that's 1/3 of my battery. So I can charge to like maybe 50%, which will take me at a supercharger about 25 minutes. That's not that bad of a charge. That's like going grocery shopping while you do that. Okay, amazing. So the infrastructure and accessibility, from what we gather, for a hydrogen vehicle is like non-existent. Like it doesn't happen. And then how do you put the hydrogen in your car? I know that's the really fun part. Okay, so are you ready for this? We're going to show you a little video that we found on YouTube of this guy that goes and put hydrogen in an hydrogen car. Okay, so are you ready for this? We're gonna do it very, very soon. Don't worry. Okay, I'm gonna switch my page and then we are gonna listen to this all together. This is gonna be great.
Station behind me making some noise. I got my credit card. Toyota does give free charging and they gave us a gift card, but I was like, I'll just pay for it.
So he's at the pump.
Card
hydrogen
in.
Pump.
It's very similar to a gas station. We are at a gas station. Remove card. Okay, no problem. This is really quite fascinating, and I'll explain sort of the refueling process. Yes, I'd like a receipt. That would be nice.
Yeah, tax deductible, yo.
So it's, I guess, pre-activating my card. Putting in zip code. Whoops.
They do that in the US.
And everyone knows our zip code. It's okay. Please wait.
We know where you live.
Waiting. Essentially, what's going to happen? Pump ready. So we're.
This is how
we got
AI.
an ad. Okay, don't worry. I'm gonna talk while this ad is playing. So the thing is, this is the guy from Out of Spec Reviews. So he does things on EVs, just like our channel, 2 Girls, 1 Electric Car. And he went and tried this actual hydrogen car and pump. Yeah.
Freezing cold. Look, it's kind of wet from condensation.
So he's saying that it's
and
really
look, there's
cold,
actually a
the
bit
pump.
of ice on here. It must have been used previously. You can see H70 is flashing. So I'm going to click H70. I'm going to put this on the
It's
port
a
till it
big thing.
snaps on, which isn't happening.
Okay, so he needs to really push
Why
it in.
isn't this happening? Okay, I think we're good. Can't pull it off? Yes,
Oh
I
yeah,
can.
he
Not
can
good.
pull it off.
Come on.
You don't
Maybe
want
it's
to be
just
able
too
to pull it
cold.
off.
I don't want to break anything.
Ooh.
I feel like an idiot. You feel the pressure popping there? There we
Okay,
go.
he's got it.
That's what we wanted. Now we're locked on. I think it may have actually been frozen in the unit because earlier today I just plugged it in and it went.
Oh.
So now it says replace nozzle. This is the second time it's done this. I still kind of feel like an idiot. Okay,
So it's not the
nozzle
right
off.
nozzle for him. So he needs to replace the nozzle.
Nozzle's quite
Well, he's
scary
looking
looking.
at it with his face. Don't put your face there.
Okay. We have to go through the process again.
Okay,
Let's
it's not
see.
like replace. It's just
Come on over here.
replace.
Now it says connect nozzle to vehicle.
Okay, so
Maybe
it
it needed a
took
little
him
bit of
too
a
much time
reset.
to plug it in.
There we go. That went in nice and easy that time.
That's what she
So here are
said.
the instructions. It says true to zero charging. All right, you have the stopwatch ready?
Okay.
I'm gonna hit H70. Let's wait for a second. Come on over here. As soon as we, start. There we go. So what it's doing right now is it's doing leak checks. So it's pressurizing, releasing,
Oh, to make sure
and it's
there's no
basically
leak.
doing these slow pulses to see if there's any leaking.
Then you
My
don't want that.
understanding is there's 3 stages of filling. The first is lower pressure. You can't just dump 70 megapascals into this thing. So it's going lower pressure first right now, then it's going to switch to medium pressure tank, and then it will go to the full 70 megapascals, 10,000 psi to fully charge us. You still have the stopwatch going? Okay, so come take a look over here. You can see it's measured in kilograms by the amount of energy that goes in. So we've done about 300 miles on this full hydrogen fuel tank, which is pretty good considering we've been absolutely ripping it, driving down the highways very quickly. On the way back, we kind of stretched it a bit to make it here, but I have to say, the hydrogen thing's almost no different than an electric car. If you need more range, you just slow down, turn off some stuff. You want less range, floor it. It's kind of easy and fun.
Wow, that
and
made
so
a lot of
now what I
noise.
think is happening is it's switching from the low pressure to the medium pressure, and it's going in. Everything, by the way, really freaking cold.
So it's touching everything and it's really
Pretty
cold.
wild.
A bit like your
And it
propane
just
tank
makes
with barbecue in the
noise
summer.
And,
You can see where it's
come
at
in
with the
really close so you
condensation
can kind
on
of hear
it.
what this thing sounds like. Just hissing sounds throughout. And essentially the benefit of hydrogen over electric vehicles is the quick filling process. The downside is you have to come to a station in order to fill it. And the station and infrastructure seems to be the problem. So come on over just because it's getting loud. And I've mentioned this many times, but I know you're going to comment it. Essentially, and now I think maybe we're switching to the high pressure because I can feel it ramping down. And now it might be switching up.
Okay,
I guess
okay.
you just can't shock the tanks. I think there can't be any more than 200 bar pressure between input to whatever the tank pressure is. Also, hydrogen's one of the only gases that heats up as it expands. Hydrogen and helium are the two. And so what that means is you have to chill this to almost minus 40 degrees Celsius. It goes through a pressurizer, then a refrigerant process, and into the car, because the tanks can't handle any more than 80 degrees C. So it's going in the car, kind of expanding, heating up, which means it needs to go in really freaking cold. Okay, so benefit of hydrogen over EV, quick charging. Benefit of EV over hydrogen, you can plug it into any wall outlet, you can charge it at home.
You can plug
and
it
it's just
anywhere.
honestly an easier and
At your
better
neighbors.
experience for passenger cars. However, here in Southern California, this does sort of make a bit of sense because we have been staying in a hotel without overnight charging for an EV. We also have an EV. It takes some amount of time to fill this thing up. We'll find out. But certainly it takes more time to charge an EV from 0 to full than it does this, especially as an EV starts to slow down as you get up top. This seemingly goes quicker all the way. And it kind of stays steady. It is temperature dependent, forgive some of the noise. This is ambient temperature dependent, and I think the warmer it is, maybe the faster it charges or fills. Forgive me for not totally knowing all of this stuff. So we put about $60 in so far. We're at 4.3 kilograms. I don't know if there's a fuel level anywhere. Not that I can see. How many minutes in are we? 3 minutes 50. I guess it's sort of impossible to charge it in anything less than about 4 or 5 minutes from 0 to full, just because of what the tanks can handle pressure-wise, is my understanding. And now it says it's done. So what's the time? What is it?
4:30.
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
4
It says
minutes 30.
F6. And I'm not sure if that means it's faulted or it's full. But it means it's
Okay.
something. So now it says remove nozzle. Okay. So I'm going
Bye-bye.
to...
So this
I
guy
actually
filled
can't-
up the whole hydrogen vehicle in about, like 5 minutes. Same time as a gas car. Can I switch now? We're good? Okay, perfect. So as you've seen, this is the guy from Outer Spec Reviews, and he has actually tried the hydrogen, and you could see all the filling process. I mean, were you scared a little bit?
Yeah, I was like, if something goes wrong or something is a little bit off, it's kind of nerve-wracking, right? It's stressful.
Yeah, it's stressful. Like a bit like what you see gasoline cars sometimes. You have somebody smoking at the pump and then somebody
Yeah.
just grabs like the fire extinguisher and like sprays all over that person.
I mean, that's never happened. But yeah. That's
But I
true.
mean, I've seen
in my head, it has happened a lot of times
Exactly.
because that's what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Who smokes there? Like,
Exactly, but that's a hydrogen vehicle. That's like the
Exactly.
same thing. And then at the beginning, he was kind of trying to push the nozzle in, so it needs to click. And it's kind of like this kind of foreskin thing that you pull it and then it clicks kind of thing.
It's exactly like
Like-
the power tool with
Yeah,
air.
exactly. Like
Exactly that.
the power tool with air, like the air compressor power tool. Same type of grip on in that way.
Tight.
Yeah, but tighter. So you have to make sure that it literally plugs in that way because, again, he was saying it's PSI. So it's so much pressure that's going in that if it's not locked, well, we hope that the machine does not work, for one. And then for two, well, you're going to get all that hydrogen that's just going to leak everywhere. And it's going to be so freaky. You don't want that because then all of that can explode, like literally. So definitely not want that. And the guy even was like the whole plug, as you can say, like the whole pump thing gets very cold because they need the hydrogen to be at -40 for the car to be able to take it at ambient temperature. So everything is like frozen cold. You don't put your hands on there. And well, there's literally an ice rim before he plugged it in, and that's why he thinks that he had some issues plugging it in. The thing is, he does say that if you live in California, in South California, well, there's good chances that you could purchase that because infrastructure is there. It takes not that much time to fill up in that way, about 5 minutes, which is the same as a gas vehicle. And then, well, the other great thing is that it's hydrogen, so it's kind of as clean as EV. Though, like you said, if you have a plug at home and you can just plug your car at home, plug your EV at home, then you don't never need to go to the gas stations. You never need to go refuel in that sense. So having a nitrogen car would make it so you have to go refuel, but you don't like to do after you tasted the EV.
plus the stress of
Yeah.
even if it's 5 minutes, if you're constantly like, if something goes wrong and stuff like that, you
Yeah.
don't wanna do that. While you charge your EV, you're just like chilling.
Yeah, you're chilling.
Yeah.
You're literally chilling.
Yeah.
While you charge your EV, while you wait to charge your EV, you listen to
Exactly.
us too. You need those more minutes so that you can listen to the full podcast.
Imagine 10 station like that at a place and something go wrong.
Yeah, 10 station like that at one place, something goes wrong. We're talking hydrogen, people. It's not the same. It's not the same way of like dealing with a crisis. Like way not the same way. Okay, so let's go to the live comments.
Columbia Space Shuttle.
We all remember what?
Columbia Space
Oh, Columbia Space Shuttle. Yes, may they rest in peace. Over 10 times the cost of my electric. Yeah. So that is another thing that these vehicles do cost a lot more. Like we were looking at the Nexo, I think it was, and it was $72,000 Canadian dollars. So that's a lot more expensive than EVs. For the cheaper EVs you could get for a range of 600 kilometers, which is like the same that you can get with a pretty cheap EV right here, right now in Canada. So let me just move on back to the actual live comment section because while we were passing that video, some people started talking. Okay. That's Kyle Connor. I mentioned in the previous episode about celebrities. Oh, that's Kyle Connor. Okay, great. Thank you, Electric Brian. And then Intellectual Wino says, he reminds me of plugging in my CCS on my e-tron. Yeah, e-tron is from Audi, right? That's not so bad. I can't wait for NACS to be adopted. Okay, so that's the thing. There's two adapters for plugs on EVs. There's the CCS and then the NACS. Now the NACS, if I'm not mistaken, is the Tesla one, and then the CCS is all other vehicles. And the NACS is supposed to be like the National American one. It's supposed to be the one that's going to be common soon because before it was just Tesla, but now they're trying to have like this USB-C type of standard in that sense.
All over the world or just in North America?
Well, that's for North America. That's the thing. I don't know all over the world what they use.
If you take your EV out of North America.
Well, you're probably
then-
going to need an adapter.
Oh, just like for your electronics, you need
Exactly.
it. Oh, I see.
Maybe. That's a good thing. We're going to need to test that out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, when we go somewhere else. That guy has never used a compressor. Yeah, Douglas down there, that's exactly what we're saying.
Imagine your wife.
Imagine your wife. So we will get to that one because that was funny. That's the thing. So compressors do have this kind of lock mechanism that is exactly the same that what we've seen for the hydrogen pump. Same. Chris Pankage says, yeah, that's every non-Tesla charger in America in a total plane. Okay. Perfect. We're not going to say that one. Graham Armstrong. Hey, Graham. Thank you for tuning in. I think you're new here. We welcome you. Yeah. Okay. Hydrogen has the same issues as hybrid vehicles. Moving parts with maintenance. That's a very good point. It either uses hydrogen to make electricity to run the vehicles or burns it like a regular ICE vehicle. That's exactly it. So why would you go for hydrogen when you can literally have an EV, which kind of kills the middleman. It really does. EV is just like your city, your town, whatever, your state, province, makes electricity and then you just plug to the grid, kind of. So there's no middleman, there's no need to nothing else. That's that simple. And then Graham Armstrong adds EVs remove all these complications and conveniently refuel at home. That's great to have your very own gas pump at home in that way. That's like one of the best things. Chris Pankage, the cooler the hydrogen is kept, the more you can store. Oh, so it becomes less dense in more cooler temperatures, which makes it smaller, just like guys. Okay. Partly true, Graham. It's a lot of fewer moving parts. And then that's intellectual wino talking. Should be a lot cheaper to maintain long term, provided they reach the same economies of scale as ICE cars. In that sense, so we're not there yet because there's not enough. There's like literally 3 models, right?
Yeah, 3 models from what I can tell.
Of hydrogen vehicles.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense in any way other than, oh, it's water and it's clean and there's... Yeah, but to get there, it's just too much.
How much is it really costing you in time,
energy, stress? You can die.
Sai was really not getting over the fact that hydrogen is really explosive.
You can't control it. What if it escapes?
Yeah, it can escape too. Yeah. That's right. Like, when he put the nozzle, he was saying that literally it needs to pump air in there to see if there is leakage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you like doing that? Like,
you like to risk your life every day.
Yeah, there's better ways to play Russian roulette.
We've got ideas for you, just like listening to While You Wait every single day at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, if you want to risk things.
Imagine if there's a problem with the software or detector to detect the...
Of course.
Yeah.
There could be a software issue, making it so you can't detect the leakage. There could be many type of issues. Again, this is hydrogen. Even gasoline is dangerous when it starts to evaporate. But if you have really wet gasoline, that's not dangerous at all. Quite frankly, it's not going to catch fire. Why? Because it's wet. It's when it starts to evaporate that all these little condensed little parts, they're highly flammable. And it's the same thing why you actually warm up the sambuca before flaming it, because you want these vapors. That is what is flammable. But hydrogen is already vaporized. It's already it's already there.
It's ready to go. It's ready to go.
Literally. But if you're we're not going to do this experiment. But if you're in a pool of gasoline and you light you light a match in the pool, not on top of it, in the pool, it's not gonna light. It's not gonna light. And you could definitely fight me on this, but I kind of think I'm right. I'm Piper, and I'm with
Sai.
And we are here on the podcast called While You Wait. We're talking electric cars versus hydrogen cars. It's time to fight, so tell us all about it. I mean, the comment section is going crazy. This is great. And since it was so dangerous, would you send your wife fill up your hydrogen car? I mean, if you really love her, would you do that to her? Sai, what are your thoughts about this?
I would definitely not send my wife to do that.
No.
Yeah, no, never. No. I wouldn't even go. I will send my neighbor.
Okay, so some people live in the bad neighborhoods for some reason. So you send your neighbors. I mean, this is kind of dangerous. It has some danger factor to it. It's all very new too, so you're kind of not sure what to do with all of that. Good thing that out of spec reviews tested it for us. This was very interesting. I'm not saying we'll never do that on the channel. Maybe that day Sai's gonna be on vacation or something. Would you be game, Sai? Would you be game?
Game for what?
To come to the refueling station with me. Hydrogen refueling station.
Oh, I'll do it.
You'll do it?
Yeah, and then I'll ask for a raise after.
If she's not dead. Okay, let's get back to the live comment section. We have Chris who adds, yes, it's super easy to charge at home. Perfect. And then, nobody has hydrogen at home. This is so true. Buy an EV and the worst, disconnect your dryer. Yeah, with a huge plug. That could definitely be doable. Then, of course, okay, let's go to performance and range, because we've definitely talked about everything that was related to how to fill your hydrogen, the infrastructure, how it works. Now, performance and range. Well, the thing is, like we said, you can charge pretty fast with these new V4s. But in general, so far from this date, most hydrogen vehicles will take less time to fill up, to refuel or recharge. Your EV is going to take a little bit more time than 5 minutes in general. It's going to take maybe 10 with the new V4s, which is pretty good, but still not as quick. Though you can definitely plug your EV at home. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about performance and range. That being said, okay, so EVs can get to, yes, this kind of 600 kilometers or more like 400 miles. They have the 400 miles range. And hydrogen cars are a bit the same, even, more, because they're more resemblant to ICE cars in relatability to the range. Yeah, meaning that when I saw, I think it's the Nexo one, it has 600 kilometers of range. So that's like some range of an ICE car. That's the same thing. So you would go gasoline, hydrogen would be very, very similar in that. Though the main difference between, again, the EV and the hydrogen is the refueling time, so the recharge time. But then if you go with performance, with speed, I think it's Chris who said that hydrogen will not have instant torque. And that is true. Hydrogen, in that sense, is a lot more like a gas vehicle. So it does not have some of these great little specs that an EV would have, like this instant torque, which is really, really cool. I mean, because you feel it. So you feel having the EV, which, I mean, in some other vehicles, why would you buy it if you don't feel the difference or see the difference in that way? I mean, you buy a Ferrari because it's a freaking Ferrari, but you buy an EV and then the first thing you definitely do with it is do the instant torque test. That's what you do. But then hydrogen is just another gas vehicle, but that is maybe less polluting in a way than gasoline because it emanates O2, or so that's H2O. Well, that's, water, whatever, water. Let's take it like that. So Chris Pankage says Tesla is 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4-ish seconds. The Mirai is in 8 seconds. See? Too fast. So Tesla would be way faster. And then Intellectual Wino says, I think it's just as bad with the CSS car. I'm not sure what you mean. Full service gas stations were great. Oh, that's good. So see, Sai, you could definitely, maybe if hydrogen becomes a thing, you could have full service, meaning somebody would like fuel your car for you. Would that be better for you? I wouldn't
have a car. I don't have a car now when they're not a thing. I would definitely not have a car if I can explode in it. Like, I'm just sitting there, they're fueling, and then I explode.
And then you explode.
Yeah. So I would not like that. I'm like, that would not be preferred.
Okay. Yeah, this is not gonna happen. So even full service not gonna work, Douglas, but thank you for trying. Tesla Roadster, that's from Douglas again. He says that it's 2.3 seconds to 0 to 60 miles per hour. The Roadster was also like 2-seater, smaller car, more sports car, and that is one of the first cars from Tesla, like Elon Musk says it. I don't know if it's his Afrikaan accent or whatever, but I'm just going to keep on saying Tesla. Chris Pankage says that Chinese is CCS. That's why there's more CCS. So I guess all other vehicles are CCS, and well, Tesla is made in America, so it is NACS. Yes, and that we're talking about the adapter, so the plug you take to charge your vehicle. In that sense. But don't worry, you can always buy an adapter. They're available. Some of them are more expensive than others. Just look at it if you want to. Let's move on to the environmental impact. Yes, because the whole point of having hydrogen versus electric cars Yeah, is that, well, you're doing it for the planet, or part of you is doing it for the planet. These are two great choices in the sense that they're not polluting right away. Meaning that when they are on the road, they're not polluting. It's like an electric car is literally putting nothing in the air. Like zero CO2, zero emanations of any kind. And then, well, hydrogen gives you water, like literally water. That's it. So there's none of these other pollutants. Is that a word, Sai? Pollutants?
Pollutants.
Ah, that word. Yeah, that word. Okay, great. Pollutants. That word. Carl de Boers says hydrogen is $16 US per gallon versus gasoline.
Yeah,
More?
More?
But we need to see how much you can make with
Yeah,
that. Kind of.
exactly. How much of a range you got? Because that's the thing. Even though it's the same price per gallon, I mean, I don't know how much. Because this guy from Out of Spec Reviews, he put like 6 kilos. Like 6 kilograms, sorry, in his car, in his hydrogen car. And so how much is 6 kilograms in gallons? And that was a full tank for him. That fueled him up in that way. So maybe, just maybe, it's different. And again, that might depend on the way that the energy is made. So hydrogen is made in some special way, yeah. So it costs money to make hydrogen, meaning that hydrogen, well, is costly in a way, often more than electricity. But again, that can depend on where you are and where you're getting that, all of that thing. Okay, so EVs have zero emissions, and well, the hydrogen car has water emissions. So I'm not sure, why would somebody be waiting for like water? Are they thirsty? Is that something? Then Carl adds, there are 0 hydrogen station in Tennessee. Not a small state either. Yeah, that's the thing. Hydrogen cars are not yet there. There's no infrastructure. They're literally not there, right, Sai? I mean, we haven't seen anything.
Hydrogen stations are usually in Southern California. So I don't think
we would be okay to go to California and come back.
Yeah, that would be fine because
with our EV we would be fine to do that.
And
But
maybe, hydrogen.
yeah, because
If
there's
we had a nitrogen
exactly.
car, I think we can go to.
But how will we get there? It's 600 kilometers.
There's
a few to get to California from Vancouver.
Yeah, there's in Vancouver and there's in Victoria. And
Okay.
And there's one down.
So maybe we could make it to California
I think we could.
if we respect the road. If we don't divert from the road in that
I don't
sense.
know how precise we need to be, but
Yeah.
I think it's doable. But we cannot cross Canada.
No, we can't cross Canada because there's not enough hydrogen stations for us to be able to cross Canada in that
Yeah.
way. So this is something you need to think about if you are in the market for a hydrogen vehicle. Like, it's definitely the accessibility. What are you going to get for that amount of money? Plus, they are not cheap. They're not cheap. So we're thinking that one of them was like close to $72,000 Canadian. And then maybe that could be like 50,000 USD. So you tell us in the live comment section, while you wait for your electric vehicle to charge, you listen to our podcast. While you wait for your cab to arrive, well, you listen to our podcast. It's super easy. Every time you're waiting, you're just listening to us. Plus, we broadcast live every single day at 12 p.m. Vancouver time. If you missed it, you can always listen to it again on the podcast playlist, which has the same name, While You Wait. We have Goldmaker89 who says, that he can't hear anymore. Have to go and recharge AirPods. Okay, well, while you wait to charge your AirPods, make sure you listen to us somewhere else.
Good thing he doesn't need hydrogen for that. He can use it with electricity. Ears won't explode.
Yeah. His ears won't explode. Chris Pankage says, the moral of the story is only California, not the rest of USA. Yeah, so if you are in California, Southern California, and you're thinking about making a greener choice, let's call it like that, for a vehicle, you would have a choice between like three hydrogen vehicles and all of the Tesla models, and then all of the other EVs that are out there / hybrids in that sense. Okay, so intellectual wino, this is why the hydrogen cars are so heavily subsidized.
Subsidized. Oh.
What does that mean? Like,
It's because that's why they offer like these. You take $15,000 and stuff like that.
to refuel them. So that's the thing. Yeah, when you buy an hydrogen vehicle, Honda did that, but I think they all do that. They give you like this card that is gonna allow you to. Yeah, it's like a gift card that's gonna allow you to refuel a lot.
The Indian people's gonna scam us for.
Yeah, the Indian people are gonna call us and be like, give me the number of your hydrogen card instead of Steam. They're gonna use that instead of the Steam cards now. Oh my God, it's gonna be funny. Subsidized, pay for by taxpayers. Okay. Well, okay, that makes a lot of sense because that's an incentive for you to purchase one of these vehicles because they cost so much more. Well, we give you free hydrogen in that way, so $15,000, let's say, of hydrogen, which is maybe like your whole first year, I don't know, of like hydrogen or a few years of hydrogen. But that's a bit what Elon Musk did with Tesla, right?
Exactly the same thing.
He gave free electricity, meaning that my Tesla Model X 2016, I have free electricity until I change. Yeah, and that's for life.
Not hydrogen.
Not hydrogen. Hydrogen's not for life. They just give you a gift card. For me, it's for life. Until I change the battery cells, it's for life. But then there's a way to change it so you keep that free electricity.
That's why people need to subscribe.
That's why you need to subscribe, because we will do it as soon as I need to change it. I'm not there yet, but close, very close. Okay. That being said, they're basically a public beta test. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's a new product. Hydrogen vehicles are newer, so we need some early adopters to purchase them and test it and see if they can become something. Like, the main point about hydrogen is definitely that it's like it takes more to make hydrogen than it does to make electricity in all of the ways. And I'm ready to fight about this. Yeah, so you bring it on.
Plus, I think the environmental impact, if people care about that, of getting it to that form and like putting it in, is the same kind of like the sustainability issue still comes in play with like people, lithium and batteries and blah, blah. Oh my God. And so I think it's just equal because it's the equal kind of impact on the environment to get it there, to put it in your car or whatever, you know?
So it's a different evil, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to pay for that. So some type of garbage is gonna be created from it. Time is gonna be wasted. I mean, the amount of energy it takes to create hydrogen is huge. It's huge. Like we said, it's about 3 to 4 times losses. So you're gonna lose 3 to 4 times what you make in hydrogen. That's how crazy hydrogen is. And then some people are saying that, well, of course it's taxpayers' money. Well, yeah, that's a bit like that. But again, it depends who did you vote for.
Yeah, the government could.
The government could help. Definitely.
It's always the taxpayers' money.
No, always. Yeah. Where else are they gonna take it?
Yeah, that's why we're taking. That's what we're for.
This is, you have to take it from somewhere. Okay, and then no. There's also Toyota is taking huge losses. Toyota, huge losses. Okay, losses about. This is an engineering project. It's cool that they're doing this. And then an incentive is a subsidy where you do think the government gets the money from. But from people.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah, no one's debating that.
Yeah,
no one argues with that one.
What's the two certainty?
Yeah, what are the two certainties in life? You will die and pay taxes. Ta-da! Benjamin Franklin said it, and he's right. Chemist America Lifestyle says, I got lifetime free supercharging just like me. Yay! Good for you. So that's the thing. If you buy a used Tesla that hasn't had their battery pack changed, and it's earlier than 2017, well, you get free electricity forever. Do you want me to say that again? Forever. It's like forever. Yeah, that's what Elon Musk did. So I guess that the hydrogen incentive in that way, yes, it is from the taxpayer. It's not from Elon. But, I mean, Toyota or all of these other car companies that are making hydrogen cars could give you free hydrogen forever. But again, I think that hydrogen is a lot more expensive to create. than electricity, and that's why it's not worth them doing that. Plus, like the fact that they're creating these hydrogen vehicles, but people don't seem to be like really hopping on that train. You know, we didn't even know that there was 3 hydrogen vehicles there. Okay, so you need to tell us, did you know about hydrogen vehicles? Did you actually get into one? We had this discussion at the beginning of the podcast, but we want to know, maybe some new people arrived. Did you actually ride an hydrogen vehicle? Were you in one? Have you ever tried one? Would you want to try one? I mean, there's no instant torque, so get your head wrapped around at that. It's just a vehicle, much like a gas vehicle. And then some people also argue that gas vehicles and hydrogen vehicles would be pretty much the same in that way. So why go through all the troubles? Yeah, because of all the moving parts, because of the engine and the way it has to like get there. It's just same. So you would be better off with the actual EV because there's less maintenance, less moving parts. Because there's less maintenance, that means there's less moving parts, less maintenance, super easy. And then, you can charge at home, making you very independent in that way. You can plug it anywhere, so it's not like you have to go to a place to refuel it in that way. Here we have Will Garcia-Wan who says, yeah, that's why hydrogen cell EVs, FCEV, developed. Make the hydrogen in the car yourself. Not sure if you can fill up with water yet. No.
Yeah, but if you can fill it with water, you think the water will remain free? Of course not.
No.
But the waste. The problem is not the water.
Yeah, the problem is the waste and the
quality of the water.
Yeah, plus
That's
you need quality water because you need to make sure there's no other things in it. And then you need to electrolyze that water, meaning it's going to cost you a lot of energy to do that. And that's the thing. It's not perpetual energy, people. You can't just like put the water in there and then it costs a lot of energy to electrolyze the hydrogen, meaning that to have that happen in your car, that's why you have hydrogen tanks and you refuel with hydrogen. The hydrogen is already made. You don't your car doesn't do it on its own. I mean, it's highly volatile, it's highly explosive. You maybe don't want to do this process while you're riding on the road. Maybe it's not a good idea. Intellectual Wino, I've driven one. Oh, great. It's pretty darn cool, but I don't think it's a winner long term. So what was the experience like?
Does it vibrate?
Does it vibrate? Does it make a lot of noise?
Is it like an ice car? Is it like an ice car?
Yeah, is it like an ice car? Does it make as much vibration and noise as an ice car? Because EVs don't vibrate, very little, and make like almost no noise, which is very comfortable. If you're looking for a difference, I mean, an EV and a nice car, and we're saying ICE, like internal combustion engine vehicles or a gas vehicle, have things that are very, very different about them that makes the ride different. If you were to go in one and you didn't know which one it was, you would really rapidly know which one it is. Okay, maybe not if you go in the McLaren type of cars, but if you take like some like mainstream cars of the market, then you go EV and gas, and you ride both, and you need to decide which one was the EV. I'm pretty sure everybody can get it. Like there's a difference, a big difference there. Now, Directrix 1 says most hydrogen is extracted from methane, yielding similar negative carbon consequences as ICE vehicles. See? So that's the thing too. It's so hard to make hydrogen. Then yes, it pollutes. It takes time and it takes lots of energy to get to that literal hydrogen. So hydrogen versus electric cars. I'm Piper and I'm with the researcher
Sai.
And we are here on While You Wait to entertain you and give you information about anything and everything related to electric vehicles or future technologies like hydrogen. Even though some may argue that it's not a future technology, it was an older one. Well, we still have electric cars and EV cars. Well, let's, yeah. Let's just talk about it and implementations today with these 3 car models that are available in the United States of America, mostly South California, and that can be fueled with hydrogen. Yes, and hydrogen only. Okay. What else we got here? Thank you. Yes, please do subscribe. We just dropped the link right down there in the live comment section. So Intellectual Wino says that it was as smooth as a ride as an EV, so less shaking and less, I guess, that is interesting.
We need to try.
But he says slower to build power. Yeah, less peak torque. You'd think it's an EV if you weren't paying attention. Okay, interesting. So that means that so far from an actual expert, intellectual wino who drove an hydrogen vehicle, well, says all of that. Okay, so I'm going to need to try to see if I could kind of, see the difference, feel the difference between the EV and the hydrogen one. Chemist America Lifestyle. I asked Grok. So Grok is ChatGPT. So it's like a language model AI that Elon Musk has implemented on X. So thank you for that. So he asked Grok, and it said oil and gas companies play a significant role in producing hydrogen fuel. I'm not sure I get that. Is it? Do you mean it's because the way it's extracted?
We make electricity with oil and stuff like that. So I think it's gas company to produce.
So gas companies would make better hydrogen?
No. They're using gas to produce.
Oh, okay. They're using gas to produce hydrogen. Yeah, that's a bit what the Directrix one was saying. Is that you need? Okay, so to electrolyze that word, hydrogen, you need energy. You need power to do that. So yeah, in China they use coal for electricity. So meaning that they could use coal to make all of these hydrogen buses that they have in China. Yeah, exactly. So you make the electricity and then you put the electricity wherever, whenever you want. But you're still going to need that electricity. So where does that electricity come from? Does it come from water? Does it come from, let's say, wind? It can also come from, coal. It can come from these like weird like natural gases and all that stuff. So this is another thing. Intellectual Wino says, newer Mirai is an impressive piece of machinery.
It is impressive.
Well, of course it's impressive because it's hydrogen in there and it needs to not leak like we discussed.
Yeah, that is very important, yeah.
And then it needs to be able to ride.
And the moving parts.
Yeah, all the moving parts of like transforming this hydrogen into literal power.
I mean, it's always exciting. New innovations are always exciting, and it's great that they're doing that. I just feel like putting them on the road for people to buy, maybe just like test it out first, like do like in a controlled environment, not just because of the explosion, but just like to have more innovations in a way so people are not just buying it. They can't buy it till it's like, okay, it's like safest or like the most efficient right now, then put it out in the market. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
Well, of course, if there's a vehicle on the road, it had to pass the road vehicle safety test. That's for sure. Like every car in Canada and in the USA has to pass that test. And so the hydrogen vehicles that are being sold are passing that test, or else it's like you make your own kit car and that's completely different. But in that way, they had to pass that. So the thing is, I don't understand that if you have hydrogen and you have a tank and then you get into an accident, I mean, it's a bit like we've heard about EVs and some people say, yes, it could be highly flammable. Now, so far, we haven't found any data, right, Side, that says that like somebody exploded.
No, but just potential.
Yeah, potential.
It's pretty safe.
It's pretty safe, right?
I think I just check out some tests, and I think it's better than gas.
It's better than gas.
Yeah, it's better than
Well, they have to make it better than gas because it would be worse than gas if it did explode. That's the thing. So they had to make sure that
there has to be a reason to pay more money than a gas car, right? It has to be better.
It has to.
Yeah.
It's a new technology, but it's also all this like new things that you're trying. So I think Elon Musk said it kind of the right way. He said that he's not against new technologies, a bit exactly like you were saying, Sai. So it's good to go there and experiment with these technologies and make them accessible so people can test them out. But in the end, I mean, are we really going to go with hydrogen? It doesn't seem like the best choice in regards to everything we've discussed so far. I mean, it costs more to produce. It's more intense. You still need to refuel, which we kind of took care of by taking out the refuel at the pump with the EVs where you could kind of charge anywhere. So what do you think? Come on. This is like a little round table on Hydrogen versus electric cars. Tell us, what is your opinion so far? What do you think is gonna win? Do you think hydrogen cars are gonna really be the future? Or do you think we're gonna stay with EV or maybe solar? I don't know. You write it in there. Maybe we're gonna have wind-powered cars. I mean, the way it's going is possible. Well, we never know.
Plus, you don't always have to make everything a car. We have this thing. Let's fuel it, like make a car that only runs on that. You can. There's uses for hydrogen for sure. But use it in like it says in space, like for rockets and stuff like that. Everything has its use. Not everything needs to be a car.
Okay. Yeah. So corn does not need to be a car. Methane does not need to be a car. I mean, hydrogen does not need to be a car. We could have other types of cars. The really big thing about hydrogen and EVs, which they both have in common, is that once you're on the road, I mean, you're not polluting with CO2. Like, that's for sure. As soon as you turn on the car, there's none of that, like, emanations. There aren't. So you got water or nothing, which is really, really good. So what have we got here? Douglas is saying fusion. Are you talking about fission and fusion?
Nuclear.
Yeah, but that's like nuclear. Whoa. Okay, so you think that the future is nuclear?
I think so.
You think that too? You think the future is nuclear? So, fusion and fission are not the same thing, right? I learned that recently. Not the same thing. So, now you know. So, Intellectual Wino says nuclear is good. Again, nuclear, same problem, right? And then hydrogen or some of these things. It's the explosionness of nuclear, and it's the waste. Like all of these like nuclear waste. We need to figure out a way to definitely like take care of that. Maybe if we do more things nuclear, we'll be able to like take care of the waste better too. There's always like new things. So are we going nuclear? Is that what everybody's saying? So hydrogen is out of the question, and then nuclear is too expensive to build. Right now it is.
Uranium is hard to find.
Uranium is really hard to find. Plus it's on that list, you know, that special list that if in your country has that, well, we're gonna watch you to make sure that something does not happen like it did before. They made a movie out of it. It's called Oppenheimer. Yeah, it's a great movie. I want the Back to the Future car. Well, okay, that's different. They were talking about time travel there. Chemist, America, lifestyle. Time travel is completely different. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to do time travel with EV, hydrogen, or...
When do we want time travel?
When do we want time travel? It doesn't matter. So maybe you're already in it. I mean, this could be great. Intellectual Wino says, and modern reactor design. Okay, so you want modern reactor design, so not the same one. They can handle and run on waste product. Okay, so you would kind of like recycle the waste, and then you would have nuclear waste recycling. I mean, everything that creates a reaction, every time you have energy, there's something that comes out of it. With electricity, there's battery degradation in that way. But again, my Tesla Model X doesn't really emanate things. Like it's just the battery depletes, and when it's depleted, yes, all of the chemicals that were used to make the battery, but they disintegrate, oxidize, they degrade in that sense. And then at one point you need to change the battery. But in the sense of, well, nuclear, there's waste. It's a bit like an ICE vehicle. You would have this waste right there, right now. If there's a reaction, there's some waste to it in that sense. In electricity, the reaction is not really there, because you're literally just storing that energy. You're not producing energy. You're not like, there's no production. An electric car, you plug it stores the electricity, and then it depletes it. You're not... Okay, you could argue that the battery is like reacting, but in that way, not really. It's not creating anything. It's just it's kind of like this you're putting your stuff in while you're moving. It's more like that. Okay, and then we have Intellectual Wino who says, yes, and you need to recycle the battery on your X. Of course, you can recycle all of the batteries for electric vehicles. I've read a few things about that. It got quite interesting on the live comment section one of those times. So they have other usage for them once they're a bit too degraded, and then you can recycle them to a point where really the footprint is really good. So if not having an EV for you was bad because of the battery, it's actually not that bad. Look it up. Okay, what else we got? So far we're going nuclear. But what do you think about that, Sai?
I don't mind.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, why not? Why? Let's all go nuclear. Let's all explode together.
This this is going to be interesting. So nuclear would definitely be more expensive. Definitely be, it's just, I mean, yeah, you need to handle that waste. But again,
You don't want to give uranium too much.
and maybe there's some countries that you don't want to give uranium to.
Maybe, but let's not do that.
Yeah, so I'm done charging my Dinosaur 2016 just like mine out here, and I enjoyed my charge. Good luck for your channel. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, because while you charge your EV, you listen to our podcast, which is called While You Charge. It lasts an hour and a half. That way you can full charge, yeah, to 100% if you need to. Intellectual Wino says it's expensive to build. Of course it is. Like anything new or not mass produced, it is expensive to build. If we do get there, it's going to be great. I mean, pacemakers are made with nuclear batteries. So nuclear is a thing. It has, again, some great advantages because, like we said on another podcast, you don't want to open something up or somebody up every like 2 months to change the battery of their pacemaker. You're probably gonna want to leave it in there for a few years, you know, because this is an intense operation. So meaning if vehicles would run on that could be really advantageous for some of these points. Yeah, the no charging, they're always like ready, bam, you're good to go. Now, what's difference? What are the main differences really between hydrogen and electric cars? So far, well, one of our great person in the live comment section did say that the ride was kind of the same. So as a driver, you would have an experience very similar to the EV, except for instant torque. So it's a bit longer to get that instant torque.
Yeah, and also the pole.
Yes, I do have the pole. I do have the pole to close. Perfect. Okay. So let's see what we have in the poll. So we did this poll at the beginning of the podcast, yes, and it's which one will win, EV, hydrogen, or both? Let's end this poll right here, right now, end the poll, and let's see what we got. So at the time of this podcast, 68% of our listeners, viewers, say that EVs are gonna win. Yeah, for the future. So they will win. We will have only electric vehicles, I guess, on the roads very, very soon. Then 25% say hydrogen cars, meaning they would win over electric vehicles. Well, but at the time of the recording of this podcast, there are not really any hydrogen cars. It's not even a competition. People, they're like at infancy. It's not there. But some do think that hydrogen cars will become the next ICE vehicle. So not even EV, because even EV is becoming more common, yes, but it's still not the norm in many countries. It's still not the mass of the appeal of the automotive industry. And then 6% say both, meaning that we would have the EVs there, and we would also have the hydrogen cars that would coexist in the future. I don't know which percentage. Maybe it would be like a half and half percentage. Maybe it would be just a little bit of both. I mean, we still have ICE vehicles on literally the roads right now, and we'll have them for a little while yet. Because, well, there are incentives, again, coming in Canada and in the USA that makes it so that, well, soon EVs are going to be the only new car you will be able to buy. But I haven't seen much hydrogen incentives, like in the news and all of that, pushing hydrogen as much as we are pushing EV right now. Maybe that will come after these laws pass in 2035 for Canada. So all new vehicles sold need to be electric vehicles. Maybe later it's going to be only hydrogen. But so far, from everything that we've gathered, I feel like hydrogen is just a bit too complicated, too expensive, and not that worth it. What do you think, Sai, from everything we got?
Yeah, definitely. I think EV is definitely going to be the future. What else is going to be there is just, I don't know, maybe it is hydrogen. Who knows?
There's always going to be a competitor, right?
Always. That's how you grow. Competition is good. That's how you grow. It pushes you to be better.
Yeah.
As long as it's healthy competition.
We
No
only want
explosions
healthy
involved.
competition.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wars involved, not that type of competition. But that being said, so we would have a world with electric vehicles. We already have much of those on the west coast of Canada, because, well, maybe we're just on top of California, so that's kind of an easy way. Plus, the west coast has always been a bit more green in that sense. So that being said, we have Tony De Vera who says hydrogen would only be useful for chemistry, production of fertilizers, steel, etc. Well, I mean, we'll see very, very soon. I mean, only time will tell, but at least you would have been here for the podcast while you wait. To discuss hydrogen versus electric cars. So happy that all of you, electric vehicle people, were here to give us your insight. Now, of course, if you know somebody who is more for hydrogen who tells you, I will only buy hydrogen, I will not go to the EV or the hybrid, well, make sure you share this video with them so that they can have more insight, and also share with us why are they waiting for hydrogen. What seems so amazing with hydrogen that's going to be our Lord and Savior, and that you have to keep yourself for hydrogen in that way? Why can't you just jump on EV and then later on switch to hydrogen because you decide not to marry EV? I mean, it would be all fine in that scenario too. Some people are doing it. I had the Chevy Volt, which was sort of kind of a generator, so not an hybrid, but sorta. And then Tesla Model X. Yes. So that is a definite yes. Hydrogen for rockets? Yes. Hydrogen for automobiles? Not really. Not so far. It just costs too much in time and money to produce hydrogen, and it gives pretty much the same results as an ICE vehicle. So why not just plug and play like we do on Two Girls One Electric Car? Make sure you tune in for a podcast at 12 p.m. Vancouver time every single day of the week right now. If you miss one, don't worry. We have a podcast playlist that is available on our channel. You can find it there. It has the same name as our podcast, and that is While You Wait. To charge your electric vehicle for your friend to be ready to go party on Friday, or maybe you're just waiting for the bus or some sort of public transport, well, you can listen in or watch the video format. Doesn't matter, it's all there. Push it, click it, share it, do whatever you want with it, but make sure you electrify somebody's life today. Okay, I'm Piper and
Sai,
and we'll see you in the next one. Yeah, definitely keeping EV. But we have to try the hydrogen.
I know. That's not difficult.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. We'll put you in a bomb suit or something.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Just like they do, in the movies.